Hey, just a quick note to let you know that this video is a pre-recorded live event. If you'd like to join our upcoming events, such as demos and office hours, you can check out our schedule on our support page. Hope you find this video helpful and look forward to seeing you in our next event. Recording. Okay. All right, thanks to those that can join today's demo live, and welcome to any of you watching this video at a later date. I'm super excited about our demo today. So what I'm going to be talking about today is training and testing features in ZooMonitor. And so as of the recording of this video in August of 2023, we've just released some new features to make it a lot easier for you to be able to train and test your observers using built-in ZooMonitor features. And specifically, what I'm talking about is the ability to add new project materials. So those could be things like videos, documents, links. And then in addition to that, you can now also mark sessions as practice in the app. And before, there was a lot of different ways we all kind of hacked at doing that and calling sessions practice, but now there's a built-in way that you can do that. And the nice thing about that is then you can also filter out now practice sessions from your exports and your reports if you'd like. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and jump into ZooMonitor, and we can go ahead and look at these features. Okay, here we are in ZooMonitor admin. We're on the projects page right here. So the project I'm going to be working with today is our Pygmy Hippo monitoring project, which I created for our demo here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So the first thing I wanted to walk through here is how to add project resources, project materials to your projects. And specifically, the one I'm super excited about is the ability to add videos to your project. So, as we all know, picture's worth 1,000 words. A video is worth a lot more than 1,000 words. And so it would be super helpful for training purposes if we had the ability to have videos for our observers, to be able to look at that in the ZooMonitor app so they know what the behaviors are supposed to look like that they're scoring. And previously, we did have the ability, you could add your text definition in ZooMonitor. So you had your ethogram built in, you had all your text definitions, but now you can actually add videos of those behaviors as well. And so here I went to the behaviors tab in our Pygmy Hippo monitoring project. And I have just one behavior I created for this project called jabber jawing, which is a super fun name for a behavior. And this is an all occurrence behavior. And I'm going to go ahead and click edit. And so you can see if you're familiar with ZooMonitor, you're familiar with this screen. So this is the screen where you create your behaviors. When you create or edit a behavior under the description field, this is where you would have added that text description, your text definition for your behavior. You'll see now that there's an option here to browse and upload a video clip as well. And so let's go ahead and do that. I have a clip here for jabber jawing. I'm not going to add our text definition, but you could certainly add that there. And then go ahead and click save. And so that feature supports multiple types of video file formats. I had MP4, but any common ones you should be okay to use. It's pretty robust there. And so let me go ahead and add another clip in here. So you can do this for any behavior of any of those channel types. So that was initially for the jabber jawing, that was an all occurrence behavior. I do also in this project have an interval channel set up. So let me go ahead and I'll just go ahead and add one for our feeding foraging behavior I have created here. And so it takes us a couple seconds there to upload the video. So if the clips are a little bit longer, it will take a little bit longer on that modal, as you see that progress bar at the bottom. And one thing to note here too, with these clips that I am linking to the behaviors, there is a limit in how long those clips can be, and that's 2 minutes. So you can add up to a 2-minute long behavior clip there directly to a behavior. However, you might have longer clips or reliability tests videos. So for instance, us at Lincoln Park, we do all of our sessions are 10 minutes long that we typically do. And so for our reliability testing process, which I'm not going to be going into detail in this video, but I do have another video on our channel all about reliability testing and how you can calculate that in ZooMonitor. But what we do is we have video clips now that we have our observers watch and do a virtual reliability test in addition to live reliability test. And so if you do have, a process, something similar to that, you see there's this new project materials tab here in admin, and you can click to add a material. And so I'm just going to call this Pygmy Hippo reliability test. And then you can have a choice here of a web link or a local file or a web link. And so I'm going to go through each of those. So let's first add this video here. I have this link right here. And so this is a 10-minute video clip here of Pygmy Hippo reliability tests. And for the reliability tests, I want to, you can specify the visibility here for your project material. So you can make it so any observer on that project can see what you just added, or you can actually manually assign it to specific observers. And so for a reliability test, I'm going to do that as manually assigned to observers, and you can see how that works here. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and you'll see this will take a little bit longer to process because it's taking that video that I just linked and then it's uploading that to the service we use. And so just a little bit of background information. Mux is the video storage service that we use, and so that's the ability that gives us the ability to have these videos show up and play in the app. This could be my internet speed. And so you can see now that after it processed, it automatically came up with this modal right here to manage observers. And that's because I selected that choice to manually select observers. And I had this automatically include all observers. I said not to do that. I wanted to manually select. On this project right now, I just have one observer myself. But if you had multiple observers, you could pick who this video is available for. So I'm going to add it for myself, but let me go ahead and add some more observers and we can see how that works. So I'm going to add some of my friends at the office here, Dwight and Angela. So they're now active observers on the project. And I'm going to go back to this project materials tab, look at this, and then there's this observers button. So if you need to change who it's assigned to, you can pull that up. So let me go ahead and assign it to Dwight as well, but not Angela. And so when we go in the app, my profile and Dwight's profile should see it, but then Angela would not. And so let me quickly jump into the app and then I can show that. So I'm going to first go up and of course download updates. There we go. And then I'm going to pull up our Pygmy Hippo monitoring project. And you can see for my profile, I'm signed in right now. The Pygmy Hippo reliability test video that I just added is showing up there. But if I were to switch users and I were to go to Angela's profile here, you can see the project is showing up for her because I added it, but that project material is not. So that gives you the ability, you can assign it to an observer. Once they take it and they notify you that they've taken it, then you can go into admin and then you can remove it from their profile. So this way your observers, the things that they see here are the things that they need to be paying attention to and completing. Let me jump back into admin and show a few more types of project materials, and then we'll kind of look a little bit more detail at them in the app. And so I added this reliability test, which is a video here. You can also add, beyond videos, other types of materials to your project. So you can also add clips, like I have the web links there. So one of the things that we do in our training is we have this thing called a behavior clip quiz, which is what we call it. And it's basically an online form. We use Google Forms. And so I'm going to go to a web link here, and I'm going to copy and paste in the URL for that form. And it's basically an online Google form that has just a number of questions. I think we generally have about 15 to 20 questions. And every question is just a small snippet of behavior. It has a video that shows a small snippet of behavior, and then it's just a drop down of what behavior was that. So it's just a really quick way to just make sure that our observers, as they're going through that initial training process, are able to reliably identify these behaviors. So I'll go ahead and click save there. You might also have, so one of the things that we do is our reliability tests. We actually don't really add our reliability tests in here because we actually do have a Google form for our reliability test. So let me go ahead and show that as well. And you can kind of get a feel for the different pros and cons for how to add some of those reliability test features in there. And so similarly, we can manually assign it or assign it to all observers. If it was a reliability test, I would probably have it as the manually assigned. And I'm going to go ahead and click save. And then you see it'll allow me to assign it. So I'm just going to assign it to myself here on the screen. And you saw here too, you can always go back and change it. So if you made something and you were manually assigning it, but then you decided you wanted everybody to be able to access it, you can always toggle this here to turn that on. And then any new observer you add to your project will automatically get those resources, and it'll be added to anyone currently on the project when you do this. And then the last thing, I'm just going to add just another example of the types of materials you can add. So of course, there's training and testing materials, of which I've shown a number here. You can also add things like a schedule. If you have your observers trying to follow a specific schedule as they do their observations, you can add that in here. And that's probably something that you would want to assign to all observers. So just some different examples of what some of the project materials you might consider adding to your project. And you can see the information in here. It'll show you also how many observers that material has been linked to, and then the type of material as well. And so you can add videos. And so I mentioned earlier with the videos with the behavior clips that they had a 2-minute limit. And then I just showed you that I added a 10-minute video here. So you can actually add through the project materials up to 1,000-second long video, which is a little bit over 16-minute videos. So you can certainly add a much longer video clip if you do have like a longer reliability test that you're trying to share directly here. You can certainly do that through the project materials here. And then you can add any PDFs. You're not able to add Word docs. You're not able to add Excel files. It does have to be saved as a PDF to be able to add it here. And then you can also add any links. And then you can also add images too. So that's the fourth type there. So you have your videos, links, PDFs, and then any images in any common formats as well. So let me jump back into the app, and now we can maybe take a look at some of these materials that I've added and also that behavior clip. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this Pygmy Hippo monitoring project. So you can see very easily when you go into the project, those project materials you've added are right there front and center for your observers to see here. So you have the Pygmy Hippo reliability test, the clip quiz, that Google form, and then the schedule. And so let me go ahead and just show those here. So I'll start with the clip quiz here. And so this is what our clip quiz that I mentioned looks like. So you can see we have a small snippet of behavior. This is probably only a few seconds here, but it's unlabeled. So our observers don't know what behavior this is. And then there's a drop down on this form that has all the behaviors that we have in our ethogram that we use. And so what they would do is they would watch this video clip, and then they would click this drop down and then select what behavior it was, go to the next one, watch the video clip, and then select the behavior it was in the drop down. So a really nice, easy way for us to get those scores. And you can also score it here through this Google form as well. You can see each question has 1 point. So it's really easily able for us to then convert this into a score for our observers. Similarly to that, we also do our reliability test in a very similar manner at Lincoln Park. And you certainly don't need to do it this way. ZooMonitor obviously is pretty flexible and can do it multiple ways. I just wanted to share kind of what we do at Lincoln Park Zoo as some background here. And so very similar to what you just saw with the clip quiz, we have a question here that's Pygmy Hippo 1. The difference is this video is this is the 10-minute long video. And so we upload our 10-minute long videos to YouTube, and we mark them as private. So they're available to embed in a form, but then if you're searching YouTube, you won't be able to find those videos there. And then this form just has basically 10 questions here. So we do 10-minute observations and we have 10 intervals. And you can see each question has the same dropdown that you just saw in that clip quiz previously. And then, so we also added, so that video I just showed that's embedded in the Google form, we also just added that video directly into ZooMonitor, which you can now do as well. So here is that video. So you click that view there and it'll pull up the video and you can see this is our observation 1 and it is a 10-minute long video there. And so if you want to expand it, you can of course always click this. If you want to speed up the video, wouldn't recommend your observers do that. They should be watching at regular speed, but if you're playing around with different videos, you can certainly adjust some of those settings in here. And then the last one I wanted to show here was this schedule. And so this is the PDF viewer. It automatically opens it kind of zoomed out, but certainly you can just click this plus sign in here. This is a very basic schedule for us of like our 2 pygmy hippos, or Annie and Pogo. And then I just did a list here of like day 1 to day 31, randomizing who you would watch each day. And so that way we can keep it randomized on who is being observed. So pretty simple way to do it there, but certainly your schedules might be much more complex than this. So these are all the project materials that I showed you can add in that tab in admin. However, I also showed you at the start that you can link specific behavior snippets, like small clips, less than 2 minutes, to behaviors directly in your ethogram. And so if you go to that view ethogram, you'll see you'll have your channels here. And so this is not new. This has definitely been a part of ZooMonitor, and you can click this and you'll see the behaviors. What is new though with these features is there's this new column and there's a button if you have a video here to play it. So for the jabberjawing, you can click that and we can see what jabberjawing looks like. And so you can see it's this repetitive opening and closing of the mouth, jabberjawing. And then similarly, we also added one for our feeding foraging behavior. So you can see that listed right here. So a really nice way for you to be able to get, much more than just the definition to your observers. So they can use this when they have, your tablets, when they're using ZooMonitor, they can kind of get this additional information and context for what these behaviors look like here. And I should mention that these videos that you're seeing are not available. They're only available if the observer is online. Sorry, let me phrase that better. These materials are only available if the if ZooMonitor is being used online. If you have offline access with ZooMonitor, you will not be able to use these because, as you might imagine, these resources take up a lot of space. And so these aren't actually being downloaded into the tablet that you're using. So if you're using an iPad, they're not actually being downloading those videos into the tablet. That's why that download update still works pretty quickly. They are referencing those video links on the online server there. So you will need Wi-Fi access to be able to view any of these resources here. So the last thing, so that is really exciting to be able to add all of these more training and testing materials for your observers. The last thing I wanted to show as well is the ability to now also mark sessions as practice. So previously there was a lot of different ways to do it. Now there's an official ZooMonitor way you can do it. So if you start a new session, and so I just have Annie here, I haven't added any questions to this project, you can go up to adjust session settings and you'll see this section here to mark a session as practice. So you check that and then you hit close, and then everything you record for that session will be marked as practice. So I'm going to just record this session. Let's say this is a practice session and the observer's incorrectly identifying jabberjawing, and let's say they get excited and just click it a bunch of times. It is admittedly a fun word. So they've recorded it 5 times, and let's say they end the session early. Okay, so we have that practice session I recorded, has those 5 recordings of jabber-jawing. Now let's go ahead and record a session that we're not marking as practice. So you can see by default, it's not marked as practice. You have to manually go up and check that every time. And the reason I'm recording both of these sessions, one is practice, one is not practice, is because now the next thing we're going to do is jump into admin and show you how we can filter out those. And so in this observation, let's say we only saw maybe 1 record of jabber-jawing, not the 5 times that was seen by the observer during practice. So we have the 2 sessions here. So sessions on device is right here. You can click that. We have those 2 sessions we recorded here. One, the 1034 one, that was that first one, with the 5 records of jabber-jawing, and then one with only 1 record. So let me go ahead and upload both of those sessions. And now we're going to jump over to admin and take a look at this project. And so you can filter it out of 2 different ways, 2 different places here. So the first is you can filter it out of your exported data here. And so you can see down here, there's this new section for optional filters. And so let me go ahead and pick our project here. So it looks like those sessions are showing up for today. We're going to export just raw data. And so you have a few options here of how you want to handle those practice sessions. So you could either include those practice sessions. So that's going to be the default setting. So it'll when you export your data, you're getting all the sessions that were recorded. However, if you did want to exclude those sessions from your export, you could certainly do that. And so you would just select the exclude practice sessions. And then a third option is if you wanted to only export your practice session. So let's say you're recording reliability tests, you're marking those reliability tests also as practice there, and then you want to just store all of those for your documentation purposes, your records, to make sure you have a record of all of your training and testing observations that you've done, but you don't want that to necessarily conflict with any of the data that you're recording for your actual project that you're keeping and you're analyzing for your management team. So you can also choose to include only practice sessions there. And so I'm going to exclude practice sessions just so you can quickly see what that looks like. I'm going to click export. Okay, here we are with the exported data that I just had out of ZooMonitor. And what you can see here is there is just the 1 session. So this is the 1 session that was not marked as practice, because if you remember, I recorded 2 sessions, 1 marked as practice, 1 not as practice. And you can see this is the not practice one that's available in the export, and only 1 record of jabber-jawing occurring here. In the practice one, there would have been 5 records of jabber-jawing having been recorded. So a really helpful tool to be able to export or to filter out of your exports there with practice sessions. Okay, so next I wanted to show how you can filter out any of those practice sessions that we recorded earlier, how you can filter those out of your reports in ZooMonitor, those built-in reports. So here we are on the analytics page in ZooMonitor, and I'm going to go to create reports. I'm going to select our project, Pygmy Hippo monitoring. And just like normal, I'm picking a report type, picking a data type here, all occurrence. And you can see in this observers pane on the right, there's this checkbox for include practice sessions. And so by default, this is unchecked, unlike how it worked for exports. So if you remember, for exports, by default, it was including all of the sessions, including your practice sessions. But for reports, it's a little bit different. So when you export your data, generally you want all of your data. But when you generate your reports, you typically want to filter out reports. So by default, it is automatically filtering out any sessions that you've marked as practice. But if you want to include those, you can just check this box. So I'm going to check the box here so we can see what it looks like with both sessions recorded in the report, and then I'll jump back and filter that out. So you can see here our behavior budget for Pygmy Hippo monitoring with both sessions. So this was the practice session we did with 5 occurrences of jabber-jawing. And then this was the not practice session we did that had 1 occurrence of jabber-jawing there. So let me go ahead and uncheck this practice sessions checkbox here and rerun that report. And so you can see when I have it unchecked, it's only having the one session here for that one occurrence. So that's the one session that was not marked as practice and the one occurrence of jabber-jawing that occurred. And so you can see here how flexible it is to easily be able to filter out any of your practice sessions to make sure that the report data that you're looking at is your actual cleaned report data and not including any of that. Okay, so hopefully you found this video helpful. Definitely some different ways that you can share more training and testing resources, really strengthen up your process there, and then also new ways to be able to filter out practice sessions from your data to make sure that you have the cleanest, best data set that you're using to analyze for your management team. So I'm super curious to hear any feedback that any of you have on these features. And of course, you can, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to email us at zoomonitor@lpzoo.org. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to be notified when we release more videos. If you have any questions about ZooMonitor, you can always feel free to contact us at ZooMonitor@lpzoo.org. Thanks.